Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. Try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Strive not to be a success, but rather to be of value. The measure of intelligence is the ability to change. Logic will get you from A to B. Imagination will take you everywhere. Person who never made a mistake, never tried anything new. Look deep into nature, and then you will understand everything better. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. The only thing more dangerous than ignorance is arrogance. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. Creativity is intelligence, having fun. I have no special talents. I am only passionately curious. The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge, but imagination. We cannot solve our problems with the same thinking we used when we created them. Play is the highest form of research. The only way to escape the corruptible effect of praise is to go on working. Intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death. I never think of the future. It comes soon enough. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. Education is what remains after one has forgotten what one has learned in school. Any fool can know. The point is to understand. Wisdom is not a product of schooling, but of the lifelong attempt to acquire it. The more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. I never teach my pupils. I only attempt to provide the conditions in which they can learn. If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Once you stop learning, you start dying. Information is not knowledge. Science without religion is lame. Religion without science is blind. The most beautiful experience we can have is the mysterious. It is the fundamental emotion that stands at the cradle of true art and true science. A question that sometimes drives me hazy. Am I, or are the others, crazy? Not everything that can be counted counts, and not everything that counts can be counted. Science is a wonderful thing if one does not have to earn one's living at it. The pursuit of truth and beauty is a sphere of activity in which we are permitted to remain children all our lives. Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. If we knew what it was we were doing, it would not be called research, would it? The only source of knowledge is experience. Energy cannot be created or destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another. Peace cannot be kept by force. It can only be achieved by understanding. A human being is a part of the whole called by us universe, a part limited in time and space. It is the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge. Setting an example is not the main means of influencing others. It is the only means. Only two things are infinite: the universe and human stupidity, and I'm not sure about the former. Great spirits have always encountered violent opposition from mediocre minds. It has become appallingly obvious that our technology has exceeded our humanity. Small is the number of people who see with their eyes and think with their minds. 100 times every day, I remind myself that my inner and outer life depend on the labors of other people. Concern for man and his fate must always form the chief interest of all technical endeavors. Weakness of attitude becomes weakness of character. Whoever is careless with the truth in small matters cannot be trusted with important matters. The world, as we have created it, is a process of our thinking. It cannot be changed without changing our thinking. Blind belief in authority is the greatest enemy of truth. The monotony and solitude of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind. Try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. The value of a man should be seen in what he gives and not in what he is able to receive. The most incomprehensible thing about the world is that it is comprehensible. Anger dwells only in the bosom of fools. You never fail until you stop trying. I live in that solitude which is painful in youth, but delicious in the years of maturity. What is right is not always popular, and what is popular is not always right. Out of clutter, find simplicity. From discord, find harmony. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Nothing happens until something moves. It's not that I'm so smart. It's just that I stay with problems longer. You have to learn the rules of the game, and then you have to play better than anyone else. If you want to live a happy life, Tie it to a goal, not to people or things. There are only two ways to live your life. One is as though nothing is a miracle. The other is as though everything is a miracle. The difference between genius and stupidity is that genius has its limits. A calm and modest life brings more happiness than the pursuit of success combined with constant restlessness. Never lose a holy curiosity. Creativity is seeing what others see and thinking what no one else ever thought. Imagination is everything. It is the preview of life's coming attractions. Once we accept our limits, we go beyond them. The important thing is not to stop questioning. What a sad era when it is easier to smash an atom than a prejudice. The monotony of a quiet life stimulates the creative mind. Imagination does not become great until human beings, given the courage and strength, use it to create. To raise new questions, new possibilities, to regard old problems from a new angle requires creative imagination. Genius is 1% talent and 99% hard work. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world. I have no special talent. I am only passionately curious. The only thing that interferes with my learning is my education. And education is what remains after one has forgotten everything they learned in school. Learning is experience. Everything else is just information. A clever person solves a problem. A wise person avoids it. Education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. The only source of knowledge is experience. It is the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge. Intellectuals solve problems. Geniuses prevent them. I want to know God's thoughts. The rest are mere details. Truth is what stands the test of experience. Gravitation is not responsible for people falling in love. No amount of experimentation can ever prove me right. A single experiment can prove me wrong. Everything should be made as simple as possible, but not simpler. A theory can be proved by experiment, but no path leads from experiment to the birth of a theory. God does not play dice with the universe. To punish me for my contempt for authority, fate made me an authority myself. The most beautiful thing we can experience is the mysterious. It is the source of all true art and science. I think and think for months and years. 99 times the conclusion is false. The 100th time I am right. Joy in looking and comprehending is nature's most beautiful gift. Any man who reads too much and uses his own brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking. A happy man is too satisfied with the present to dwell too much on the future. No problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. Solitude is painful when one is young, but delightful when one is more mature. Love is a better master than duty. If you want your children to be intelligent, read them fairy tales. If you want them to be more intelligent, read them more fairy tales. Nationalism is an infantile disease. It is the measles of mankind. A table, a chair, a bowl of fruit, and a violin. What else does a man need to be happy? If people are good only because they fear punishment and hope for reward, then we are a sorry lot indeed. Few are those who see with their own eyes and feel with their own hearts. The significant problems we face cannot be solved at the same level of thinking we were at when we created them. Not everything that is faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it is faced. Anyone who has never made a mistake has never tried anything new. Reading, after a certain age, diverts the mind too much from its creative pursuits. Never do anything against conscience, even if the state demands it. We cannot despair of humanity, since we ourselves are human beings. We act as though comfort and luxury were the chief requirements of life. Learn from yesterday, live for today, hope for tomorrow. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Reality is merely an illusion, albeit a very persistent one. You never truly understand something until you can explain it to your grandmother. What a person thinks on their own, without being instructed, is what really counts. The best way to cheer yourself is to cheer somebody else up. Creativity is contagious. Pass it on. In order to be an immaculate member of a flock of sheep, one must above all be a sheep oneself. I believe in intuitions and inspirations. I sometimes feel that I am right. I do not know that I am. The most valuable thing a person can possess is an unquenchable curiosity. Once you can accept the universe as matter, expanding into nothing that is something, wearing stripes with plaid comes easy. You can't blame gravity for falling in love. There is only one road to true human greatness, through the school of hard knocks. True art is characterized by an irresistible urge in the creative artist. I am enough of an artist to draw freely upon my imagination. Where the world ceases to be the scene of our personal hopes and wishes, where we face it as free beings, admiring, asking, observing. There we enter the realm of art and science. Never memorize something that you can look up. Logic will get you from A to Z. Imagination will get you everywhere. The monotony of life must never dull the imagination. Our task must be to free ourselves by widening our circle of compassion to embrace all living creatures. The greatest scientists are artists as well. Creativity is the residue of time wasted. Imagination is the highest form of research. The value of a college education is not the learning of many facts, but the training of the mind to think. The search for truth is more precious than its possession. The only thing that you absolutely have to know is the location of the library. Teaching should be such that what is offered is perceived as a valuable gift and not as a hard duty. It is a miracle that curiosity survives formal education. What really interests me is whether God had any choice in the creation of the world. As far as the laws of mathematics refer to reality, they are not certain. As far as they are certain, they do not refer to reality. Equations are more important to me because politics is for the present, but an equation is something for eternity. The only real valuable thing is intuition. I never made one of my discoveries through the process of rational thinking. Nature hides her secrets because of her essential loftiness, but not by means of ruse. Once we accept our limits, we go beyond them. I do not believe in immortality of the individual, and I consider ethics to be an exclusively human concern, with no superhuman authority behind it. God is subtle, but He is not malicious. Energy is liberated matter. Matter is energy waiting to happen. The important thing is not to stop questioning. Everything that can be counted does not necessarily count. Everything that counts cannot necessarily be counted. The unleashed power of the atom has changed everything save our modes of thinking, and we thus drift toward unparalleled catastrophe. Do not worry about your difficulties in mathematics. I can assure you, mine are still greater. The only thing that interferes with my learning is my education. The ideals which have lighted me on my way and time after time, given me new courage to face life cheerfully, have been truth, goodness, and beauty. Everyone should be respected as an individual, but no one idolized. Memory is deceptive because it is colored by today's events. Our death is not an end if we can live on in our children and the younger generation. Any intelligent fool can make things bigger and more complex. It takes a touch of genius and a lot of courage to move in the opposite direction. To my mind, to kill in war is not a whit better than to commit ordinary murder. Peace is not merely the absence of war, but the presence of justice, of law, of order, in short, of government. Happiness in intelligent people is the rarest thing I know. The destiny of civilized humanity depends more than ever on the moral forces it can generate. An empty stomach is not a good political advisor. Reality is that which, when you stop believing in it, doesn't go away. A man's ethical behavior should be based effectually on sympathy, education, and social ties. The attempt to combine wisdom and power has only rarely been successful. We should take care not to make the intellect our God. It has, of course, powerful muscles, but no personality. Few are those who see with their own eyes and feel with their own hearts. The measure of intelligence is the ability to change. Everything is determined by forces over which we have no control. The high destiny of the individual is to serve rather than to rule. Mankind invented the atomic bomb, but no mouse would ever construct a mousetrap. There comes a point in your life when you need to stop reading other people's books and start writing your own. Do not grow old, no matter how long you live. Gravitation is not responsible for people falling in love. A man should look for what is and not for what he thinks should be. The tragedy of life is what dies inside a man while he lives. Love brings much happiness, much more so than pining for someone brings pain. The eternal mystery of the world is its comprehensibility. In the middle of every difficulty lies opportunity. Every day is a gift. The value of a man resides in what he gives and not in what he is capable of receiving. Be a voice, not an echo. We cannot solve problems with the kind of thinking we employed when we came up with them. Success comes from curiosity, concentration, perseverance, and self-criticism. When you trip over love, it is easy to get up. But when you fall in love, it is impossible to stand again. Science can flourish only in an atmosphere of free speech. Only a life lived for others is a life worthwhile. A person starts to live when they can live outside themselves. Common sense is the collection of prejudices acquired by age 18. The pursuit of truth and beauty is a sphere of activity in which we are permitted to remain children all our lives.